everyone, to those of you who don't know me, my name is Edith-Marie and welcome to my very first cartoon review. I thought it would be fun to start off with a slightly underknown but very well-liked series, Redwall. More specifically, Redwall Season 1, Matthias. Now, Redwall is an animated series from the late 90s to the early 2000s that's based off of a series of medieval fantasy children's books written by Brian Jacques. Redwall Season 1, Matthias revolves around Redwall Abbey. An abbey in the medieval village of Mossflower, and one of its novices is orphan boy Matthias. As the series starts out, Matthias is your typical young warrior wannabe who, despite the fact that he considers the abbey his home, he also craves for adventure and chances to prove his bravery and be a great warrior like his hero and founder of the abbey, Martin the Warrior. Luckily for him, or shall we say unluckily for his fellows at Redwall, Matthias actually gets the chance to have the adventure he was looking for when his home village gets invaded by the dastardly Clooney and his fellow gang of rats, all with the sole purpose of taking Redwall under siege. And while Matthias is able to scare Clooney off at first, this doesn't fully drive the rats away. It sets off a chain of events that will not only have Matthias test his strength and bravery, but that of his comrades as well. Throughout the series, Matthias has the aid of not only his fellow brethren at Redwall, to which he is familiar with, but also a whole new group of allies that he meets throughout the season, that not only help him take down Clooney, but also other adversaries Matthias comes across. As for Matthias himself, he is, at first anyways, is your typical young, clumsy protagonist who wishes for a more adventurous life than his abbey home can offer him so he can be a great warrior. However, other than Martin's spirit, he doesn't really have much training in being either a leader or a warrior. However, as the series goes on, he goes on adventures both within and outside of Redwall that allow him to not only take down Clooney, but also protect Redwall and Mossflower in the long run. And that's what I really like about him. He's not afraid to push past his fear to do something, even if it might not go as planned. Like I said, he doesn't have to fight Clooney alone. He's got a slew of comrades right behind him and is ready to back him up the next time Clooney strikes, such as Cornflower. Matthias is soft-spoken but brave girlfriend. Use what resources she does have to protect her home of Redwall, even if she might not initially pack that big of a punch, while also bringing a lot of heart to the series. And then there's Basil, who has to be my favorite character. I would describe jolly old hare, who is both a semi-comic relief. While he's very funny, he's also very smart and is basically the brains of the operation. In slight contrast, we have Constance, the matronly but strong badger, who's actually pretty aggressive and pretty much the bronze of the operation to protect Redwall from Clooney. And trust me when I say, she can actually get pretty violent. Finally, Friar Mortimer, who is Matthias' father figure within the abbey. He's very calm and peace-loving, almost to a fault. While I do agree that he shouldn't just jump into war, and while he is firm in showing his mercy, like he was in the first episode when he told Clooney's men to let them into the abbey if they didn't have any weapons, at times it can feel like he's had his head in the sand and that he believes that Clooney and his gang are going to leave on their own, when in reality they just can come closer and closer and closer to invading them. However, when push comes to shove, he is able to put up a fight. Meanwhile, in the bad guys category, of course we have Clooney, the big and bad. Now, I'll admit it, as a kid, I was very much scared of Clooney, and even now as an adult he still kind of frightened me. However, also watching him as an adult, I don't really find him very interesting. He's not that funny, and while he is merciless, especially when he treats his own gang, he's certainly not afraid to sacrifice a life. He can come across as very wimpy, and with the fact that he and his gang keep failing at invading Redwall, which again is home to a bunch of peace-loving woodlanders, again doesn't make him that compelling. However, there are many things I actually really like about this series. For one thing, it didn't pull any punches. Not only do characters stay dead, some of the deaths are actually on screen. We actually see Matthias' sister Myrtle collapse of exhaustion after doing her best to get herself and Matthias away from their impoverished and now invaded home village, and dying herself after, shall we say, a less than smooth journey. Side note, that's another thing I like about the series. It would have been so easy to make Matthias a long-lost prince or something, instead it made it clear that his life before the abbey wasn't exact peaches and cream. Another thing I liked about this series is that the animals are, well, animals. Because not only do they have certain skills that some animals do better than others. For example, there's a whole scene in this series that explains why Matthias shouldn't be climbing up so high and leave it to his squirrel friend. The animals also eat and attack each other the way, well, animals of this species often do. And it's also made clear that it's not just the bad guys who are willing to eat another critter, or even just take someone's life without too much hesitation. Would I have mixed feelings about how would be the pacing? Yes, this series is pretty smooth with how one episode flows into the next, or at least build on to one another. Some of the adventure episodes feel kind of tedious and make you question if they were necessary. What I dislike is that the series, some of the side characters can get really agitating, or at least uncompelling. I know that's something like they're there for, like those stupid moles, but come on. In conclusion, I'd say give this show a shot, especially if you're young and you're looking to get into medieval or adventures. And you certainly find more of that here than you would in Sword of the Stone. No knock on that movie. Anyways, thanks for watching. I give this show an 9 out of 10. I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.